Hey, what's good? In today's video, I'm going to be going over the Polaroid SX-70, which is one of my absolute favorite cameras to shoot with. This is a manual style SLR Polaroid that has a couple of different options when it comes to having a little bit more creative control when making images. This camera features manual focus, which is one of the best features on it because a lot of Polaroid cameras are honestly just point, shoot, and that's it, and pray and hope that you get good results. For manual focus, you're going to have a dial right on the front right here, and what that essentially is going to let you do is focus either really close or really far. So whether you're shooting portraits or landscapes, your images are always going to be in focus and always look good. And another feature that this camera has is exposure compensation. What that's going to do is adjust the shutter speed in the camera, so it's going to make the image either a little bit darker or a little bit brighter depending on your preference. Whether you're shooting in broad daylight or during golden hour, the ability to have the exposure compensation dial on here makes for really good results. It's honestly where a lot of the fun begins when it comes to shooting Polaroid. Another reason why I really love this camera is with this notch right here, this camera actually folds flat. So it is somewhat portable. I mean, it is a little bit bulky, but it's something that you could easily carry in your camera bag, or if you have a Pelican case, it's something that doesn't take too much space. The results that you get from this camera are always pretty rad. I mean, realistically, it's a Polaroid camera, so they're never going to be super consistent, and honestly that's why most of us choose to shoot film. One thing to note is this camera was made in the 70s, so the OG film that was made way back when is no longer in production now. Polaroid does make SX-70 film in both black and white and color, and it's important to note that the ISO is a little bit different now, so it's a little bit more sensitive to light. So one thing I would recommend is setting your exposure compensation dial to about 1/3 of a stop darker. I usually move it to the first line on the dark side, and that typically is going to give you a good base image. Honestly, just play around with it, try some exposure tests to see really what you like. The film itself is about 20 bucks right now in the US, and you get 8 shots, so it's not the cheapest thing out there, but even if you get, some darker image, some blurry images, those are once in a lifetime moments that you're always going to have, especially if you scan them, at home, you're always going to have those. And there's also something about shooting Polaroid. It's very personal, especially if you're shooting portraits. You're typically pretty close to your subject, and it's something that whether you're traveling, whether you're shooting, with homies, or, you're on a location shoot, it's something that I always make sure to have. I've had this camera for years. I've shot hundreds of photos with it. It's something that whether you're a new photographer or you've been in the game for a minute, this is definitely a camera that I would recommend at least everyone try out, own, use, find your way to get your hands on one or buy one. You won't regret it, honestly. That's it for this video on the Polaroid SX-70. If you're feeling it, drop a like, and if you enjoy the content I'm putting out, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.